Welcome to Sideshow Con.
Hello everyone, I'm Guy.
And I'm Whitney.
And this is Sideshow Con, a week-long event where we're going to be taking a look at the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture right here at Sideshow.com.
Today we are going to be showing you guys some of the most fantastic pieces from Pokemon, Disney, Critical Role, and so much more.
So without further ado, let's take a look at today's showcase.
Hey everybody, I'm here with painters Chi Izuma and Katsupene, and we have the world premiere of Sideshow's very own Pokemon collection with the Pikachu life-size figure and the Charizard statue. Yeah. This is 5-year-old Amy's dream come true, and I'm so excited to talk to you about your work on these pieces. What was it like taking the two-dimensional and putting it into a three-dimensional sculpt, and in your case, doing the paint? Let's start with Chi and talk about Pikachu.
Pikachu is such an iconic character, so you kind of need to get the color right. So licensor provide us a Pantone color call-outs for the skin tone to cheeks, everything except the base. I was able to put some subtle shadows on the feet and under the arms, around the bottom parts of his legs, and around the ears. So, and of course in the little cheek. But it's very subtle. But that is, if you're staring at it enough, or maybe look at him from far away, you're able to see the actual where the shadow is at.
I mean, I see that red and instantly I look. Those are Pikachu's cheeks, and it's just so cute and so soft. And then we have Charizard, who has this dynamic pose, a lot of action going on here. So tell me about putting the colors onto that.
Yeah, so like Chi said, the licensor gave us Pantone colors for all the different elements of the character, from like the inside of the mouth, the tongue, to obviously just the base orange color. And he's got a little bit of shading as well, again, to just try to bring a 2D character into life without making it seem like a 3D animated character. We were really trying to keep it nice and flat, but with a little bit of depth, because it is a 3D character here.
Yeah, and then we've got some fun storytelling. Pokemon fans will recognize Charizard is using the flamethrower move, and we've got this kind of swirling flame base, almost like the battlefield is set ablaze. And there's different colors going on here, so tell me a little bit about those as well.
Yeah, so you have the two different kinds of flames. Basically, you have this flame which had Pantone color callouts as well, because it's part of Charizard. But then when it came to the mouth and the base flame, we really had kind of free reign to just make it look like fire. And so that was really a lot of fun, to keep the dynamic motion that the base has in the sculpture, but try to kind of push it a little bit further with the paint. So I was trying to kind of keep the core a little bit hotter with the yellows and oranges, and then cooling off to the tips with a little bit of magenta that I also just thought played well with the orange of Charizard.
I think it's to great effect. You did a really great job with that. And then we've got a really fun little environment base on Pikachu as well. So tell me a little bit about setting up these details.
We actually had a little freedom, his base, so I was able to pick the color for the grass and the dirt. So I'm able to add in like shadings and the highlights, even like the dirt has a little more detail, those speckles, and the rocks have a little dry brush. I was able to add in extra details. It was kind of fun.
Thank you ladies so much for being here. It was so awesome to talk with you about these pieces. And I'm sure everyone at home is just as excited as I am to see them here. If you want to find out a little bit more about the Sideshow collection, we'll be doing life-size figures, statues, and dioramas. So stay tuned and find out more information at side.show/con.
This is the cutest Stitch I've ever seen in my entire life.
Now Whitney, this is a figure I can relate to. By Hot Toys, it is the Stitch figure. Oh, it is so gosh darn cute, you're right. When did you first meet Stitch, other than today?
Other than right now, this little guy. I first fell in love with Stitch when it very first came out, all the way in the early 2000s. I was also obsessed with the animated series. I have all 629 cousins' names memorized, and I would kill for a whole collection of these little guys. It is incredible. I'd put them all over my house.
It is so cute, it's so adorable, it's so huggable. The soft fur over the entire fully posable body. That's right, Hot Toys, gives you fully posable figures, and Stitch is one of those. You can do so much. Right now, he's standing at about 15 inches, depending on how you adjust the ears, but you can even have him down, crouched on all fours.
I would say he's the perfect snuggle size.
Absolutely. Snuggle size, Whitney, that is how we're going to be describing that. Hashtag snuggle size. Talking about that posability, Even the mouth and ears are gonna move on this, so you can have any type of expression, as well as some pretty cool accessories like arm floaties and fashionable sunglasses as well. Whitney,
And
check
talking
out the
about
swap out hands.
expressiveness, I love this little peace sign. This is so cute. He obviously needs this when he's going surfing. And one of my other favorite things actually is just all of the details that you can see on the mouth. Sounds a little weird, but his tongue is so realistic for the tongue that you see in the animated show and in the live action.
It's got a texture to it, doesn't it?
It has like an actual texture. You can picture yourself getting licked by this strange alien creature.
I love it. I cannot wait to have it as part of my collection. I know you're going to get one too.
Obsessed,
and you can
yes.
find out all of the information about the Hot Toys Stitch figure by going to side.show/con.
Hey everyone! It might not be Thursday yet, but I'm here with fellow critter Anna Van Slee as we're here to talk to you a little bit about the newest additions to our Critical Role collection here at Sideshow. Let's go over here because we are taking a closer look at some new formats to the line, including a functional dice tower and publishing.
So this is A Decade of Destiny in reference to Happy Anniversary Critical Role. We represent all of the statuary we've made to date throughout the book, along with really cool behind the scenes insights from the cast and crew about character development and how that really played into the statue design and development. Lots of beautiful prose written by none other than our beloved Amy Chase.
Thank you.
It's a really great read. There's also a few sneak peeks at some upcoming unreleased product as well.
You're also going to get a really cool foreword by Travis Willingham, and the cover is a beautiful original design by Jordan Torrance, who is the Critical Role graphic designer. I was so excited to get to talk to not only Sideshow artists who I know and love, but also the cast and the crew at Critical Role about what goes into a collaboration like this. And being so successful for 10 years and having more than 5 years worth of stuff to put out as collectibles, it was such a cool collaboration, and I think fans need to get this piece. Going from publishing to functional gaming collectibles, because here we have the Xhorhaus Dice Tower. Check that out. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, Critical Role is so much more than just the characters. It's all of Exandria, it's the enchanted locations, just like their headquarters in Mighty Nine. We wanted to bring that into the statuary collection as well, but we're also a bunch of gamers. I wanted to represent that on our gaming table with our RPG miniatures. So this is not a specific scale, but it does look really nice.
That's such a unique addition. I mean, it looks great on a shelf. It would look great on a gaming table.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so beautiful.
The paint job is my favorite thing about this piece because we wanted to capture that kind of perpetual twilight, the glowing fairy lights, and that tree, which is, just not a thing. So I think it's a beautiful addition to the collection. And for those of you that are wondering, I did roll a 1.
Ooh.
So we've talked a little bit about the original collection with the cast of characters. We've talked about some magical locations. And now it's time to talk about some NPCs. And we have an awesome assortment of heroes, villains, and thirst traps.
I mean, you mentioned how fully fleshed out the world of Exandria is, and one of those important factors in any adventure is the characters who help or hinder the heroes along their way. I'd love to start here with Allura. It's such a beautiful representation of her as a member of the Tal'Dorei Council, looking great in a collection with the Vox Machina characters, but she does, interact with other characters from other campaigns. So how did we choose this version of her?
I mean, that was a lot of internal debate, whether we go with some of her younger form or if we wanted to make her braids silver and go with one of her older, wiser, more wizened versions. But we felt like since she is supposed to go with the Vox Machina collection, we'd go with that version, and maybe we'll do a variant later on. But we have a lot of purple muscle-bound characters for the rest of our
What was going on in campaign 2 and the hovering? Let's talk about a character that I know people have been asking for ever since we first debuted with the Mighty Nine collection. We've got Essek Thalis right here. This is everybody's favorite hot boy, and he is here as an ally to the Mighty Nine. He has some reformed villainy to him, but we get him here as a confident spellcaster. I love that we get a little bit of his Dunamancy magic going on here. But tell me about, the hovering is essential to him, but how did we do this?
It's a really cool suspension gag with his cape, so obviously fully sculpted, and it kind of lays on the back of the base there. It's just a real kind of a nice touch. You look at the character and you look again when you realize he's levitating. Also, he pairs nicely with the Xhorhaus. So
yes, he does.
A little synchronicity there.
Also with Caleb, if you already have Caleb in your collection.
Yes, some shipping.
Yes. Critters love their shipping as much as they love villains and terrifying encounters. We've got the penultimate form, because he has an even bigger form.
Yes.
I don't think we could represent that as a collectible, but this is Lucian the Neo Sum Novum from the climax of the Mighty Nine campaign. This is incredible. We've got the 9 eye stalks, the eyes of 9. And it's cool to see kind of, a similarity with Molly Mock, but obviously this is a very distinct version of the character.
Very much so, and you'll notice subtly, we did make the base a different tone for the villain and any forthcoming villains as well. It's got a little extra cracking in there. He's also kind of levitating in more of an attack pose so that you can pose him with your Mighty Nine collection as they're about to fight it out.
Now we've discussed some purple characters here, getting really colorful, really fun, but the rainbow of villainy, let's call it, extends far beyond that in Exandria, especially in the form of the Chroma Conclave. And here we have a fine art print by artist Livia Prima, who was previously featured in the Critical Role collection with Percy DeRollo, Manifestation of the List.
I mean, obviously Thordak jumps out at you first, right across the top, everyone's favorite Cinder Dragon. Also pairs very well with the new Allura statue in terms of backstory.
It's almost like we create these things knowing that they go together very, very well.
But yes, all 5 dragons are well represented. Obviously something we'd love to explore in statuary someday, but for now this is probably the best way that we can capture all 5.
It would be quite a feat to bring all the dragons together. We of course have Raishan here, we've got Voragal, Umbrasyl, and Brimscythe completing the quintet. Just a really cool representation, and you guys are looking at the Giclée version of the print. This is an open edition art print as part of our collection, but there is a highly limited HD aluminum variant, so you can bring home the Chroma Conclave on Chroma Lux metal. Well, that is all for our Critical Role segment today, but we do have more to show you. Thank you so much for joining me here, Anna. I'm so excited that we got to take a look at all these pieces together.
Thank you for having me.
Now, if you're looking for any more information about Sideshow's Critical Role collection, one, we encourage you to pick up A Decade of Destiny, the Critical Role collection by Sideshow book, but you can also go to side.show/con for all the information.
Amy, where were you in 1983?
Guy, I wasn't alive yet.
Well, I was in the arcade playing the biggest game of 1983, Crystal Castles. And here it is by New Wave Toys, part of the Replicade line, and it's in 6 scale.
This is such an amazing Replicade release, but I want to focus on that Atari cabinet.
Yes, this is a fully playable cabinet, and every detail of the original now in 6 scale. From the cabinet to the rollerball.
We're seeing the Hall of Fame right there.
Exactly. Get your name on the high score board. All of it down to the sounds, the graphics, the playability, all the original.
I'm looking at this with the little trackball. You've even got the tiny little instruction panel on the front with the rules of the game, and then those really great buttons there. They have such a nice tactile feel to them.
You got your coin slot on the front, but then on the back, you've got your lock that they've gone and replicated. But more importantly on the back is a feature that I love about collecting these cabinets. There's an HDMI output, so I can plug that into a large screen TV or a monitor, so I can get that game fully up on there. Also, I can use another controller. Okay, so if you have a controller that you're pretty familiar with, those can be used with this as well, making the game a little bit more fun to play.
I think that's a great intersection between modern gaming and classic recreations. But, I wasn't growing up in the video arcades, but I did go to the boardwalk a lot, and they had a lot of attractions. And one of the biggest ones that I remember always being there is skee ball, just hearing the alarms going off and watching people roll the balls.
Watch that light go. Now, you're looking at the prototype for the skee ball machine. Okay. You said this was one that you played, so talk us through the playability factor on this.
So with the skee ball machine, you're also going to have a selection of balls that you can roll up the chute, these nice little metal balls, but because I'm older and wiser, I can just reach up here and drop it in.
Well, Amy, that is cheating. But yes, when you win at this game, it's going to light up here on the scoreboard as well as the light, and it's going to dispense tickets.
Oh, great. Can you take them to like a 6-scale prize redemption
I'm sure
station?
there must be a 6-scale prize redemption center. But to learn more about that, as well as more from Replicate, make sure to go to side.show/con.
We have a couple more really exciting things to show you guys. And I'm not gonna lie, it might get a little strange around here, but don't worry, you're not doomed. Here we have this amazing Marvel Rivals poster.
This is by Johnny Caballero. This is the Marvel Rivals Eternal Night Falls fine art print. And we are so excited to have this here to show you guys. But I know that Johnny was really excited when he was approached to do this piece because he had already put over 100 hours into the game when we asked him to do this.
Oh my gosh, you can really tell that's how detailed this is. All of the little Easter eggs, all of the references that he included. I also love this gorgeous double matte board that this is on. The frame looks amazing, the colors, the shapes, I'm obsessed.
Yes, this is the framed edition of the fine art print, which you can find on our website. And one of my favorite details about like the style of the game he captured is the chromatic aberration, or kind of the fake style there with the pink and the blue that creates that almost blurred 3D effect. And then of course we've got Marvel favorites like Doctor Strange, the Fantastic Four, and their villains Dracula and Doctor Doom. Who'd have thought? Now, it's a big year for the Fantastic Four, so it's cool to see them here. But speaking of big, we've got a massive figure here in the studio. This is the Hot Toys Venom from Spider-Man 2.
This is truly larger than life. I did not realize how big this was gonna be in person. It's incredible.
And it's still a 6th scale figure, so that's one of the things that Hot Toys does with taking characters who don't have a normal comparable scale. You can't just go and meet your neighbor Venom, but you can see your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man if you have any of the other Hot Toys releases, all those really cool alternate suits they did for Peter Parker and Miles Morales, and this guy's like almost twice as big as them.
I really love that they went so accurate with that sizing because he is gonna look cool as heck on my shelf next to all the tiny Peter Parkers.
Yes, and we've got all of those really cool symbiote details. These are parts you can add to the figure to really determine how drippy and gooey you want him to be, which, with Venom, the gooier the better.
And something that I love about this so much is that it comes with so many different tongues that you can use to customize your Venom.
Yeah, you've got the swap out mouths and teeth, which is essential for Venom, but if it came with any other character, you'd kind of be scratching your head about that. But I think it's perfect for the villainous Venom. As someone who's playing through this video game right now, I love seeing how closely they realized him from the screen to my shelf.
This is so exciting. We have so much more stuff to show you. Right over here, we have this collection that I think is gonna have a little something for every video game fan.
I'm looking at a trio of massively popular games. Let's start over here with Fallout.
I love that this is actually a bobblehead.
Yes, indeed. This is the Vault Boy bobblehead from the fine folks over at Gaming Heads, and of course, the people of Vault Tech. And this is specifically based on the Vault 76 design. You've got the sign on the back of his jumpsuit there. And like other bobbleheads that you'll find when wandering the wasteland, this one's the charisma perk, so he will give you a bonus to your charisma if you have him in your collection.
That's for Fallout. Now over here we have Lilith. She is from Blizzard's cinematic announcement for the new Diablo 4 game.
This is such a cool piece. I love all of Blizzard's announcements are super spectacular and memorable, but in this one, she's swimming through this creepy membrane of skin and flesh as she's emerging into Sanctuary, and I mean, she's the mother of hatred herself.
So bloody, so drippy, so gorgeous. I really, really love that she has like a translucency to her. You can kind of see my hand going on back there. It looks like it is going to last forever. It is a strong piece, but at the same time, it has that delicacy that fine art does.
Just a beautiful centerpiece, especially if you are a Diablo 4 fan. But now we're gonna take it from hell to a helmet with the premium Cade 6 replica helmet from Numbskull.
I love the weather texture on this. It looks so scuffed up, so realistic. I mean, if you're seeing that action, you're gonna get a couple of scratches on your helmet.
Yeah, of course. And we've got all of the intricate detail of Cade 6's design from Bungie's Destiny title. And we've got some mixed media elements with the fabric hood, and there's some logos and decals on that as well.
But besides being washable, it's also wearable.
Yeah, not only will it look great on your shelf, it will look great on you because this is a premium cosplay replica. It is a half mask that is wearable with that washable fabric hood.
That is so cool. I am definitely getting one of these for Comic-Con.
I love functional pieces of art that you can interact with, and you can use this or any of the other pieces we discussed today to fully immerse yourself in the world of your favorite video games. So if you want to take a closer look at any of the pieces we featured on today's show, go to side.show/con.
From our partners at Prime One Studio, we look in the world of gaming. We can't get much bigger than a third scale Thor from God of War.
This is massive. He has such an imposing presence. I am obsessed with this. I love how much intricate detail is in all of his clothing. It really looks like he's wearing clothing made out of like 7 different fabrics.
And all of that sculpted and painted, all of those different textures. Then they amp it up by adding the faux fur, and even the cape, hand stitched together and weathered. We get a little bit of that scroll work down on the lower edge of it. Absolutely beautiful what he is wearing.
It is so cool, especially this really detailed, delicate stitching on the cape. I absolutely love that, but we also have to talk about this base because this is massive too. The fact that they added this little bit of like glitter sparkle to it so that it really looks like freshly fallen snow.
You're getting that cold.
So cool. You can feel the cold coming off of it with that shimmer.
All of the ice and snow all over it, and it all kind of covers over a bit of a Nordic element. We're seeing those small statues in front, and there's even a large carving in the back, and then we're bringing some life into it with those birds kind of fleeing. There's a lot going on.
This is the most elegant version of Mjolnir I have ever seen in my life. There are these beautiful little carvings all in the side of this. There's gorgeous runes, the gold filament on the handle. It's elevated. It's an elevated version of a classic hammer that we have seen done hundreds of times.
And to take a look at his journey, that portrait tells so much of his story. This is a very different take that they did in God of War, and it shows on there kind of that pain, that struggle, but the determination to continue with it. Now, I have one more piece. Yes. You've got to come and see this. From Witcher 3, it is Triss Merigold. Alternate outfit. This is the way to dress.
Oh, I'm glad she has an alternate outfit because otherwise I'd be stealing this one. The teal, the gold, it is so beautiful. All of the little intricate details in her dress, the way that the paisley is perfectly carved in there, it is just stunning.
There's an elegance even to the stance that she has, to the adornment there in the hair. It's absolutely beautiful. And in this kind of tranquil area, we talk about the base telling the story. We get that hand carved with the wood there, but then the fountain and so much movement going on with that.
The fountain just has so much life to it. I love that each of these little beautiful individually carved pieces of water that are coming down, they culminate into this bubbling, swirling little circle of water right here, and it looks like you could turn this fountain on.
Yeah, it's a sculpted element that has life, and you almost feel the movement in there. It's absolutely beautiful. These two pieces are stunning, and you can learn more by going to side.show/con.
Hey everyone, I am here with sculptor Will Harbottle, and we've got some top secret intel for you from the world of Pulp Vixens. This is our third statue in the series, Killer Return. Will, thanks so much for joining us. I'm so excited that we get to talk about this.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited. Episode 3 is finally here.
Now, for those of you who might not know at home, Will is also the creative mind behind the idea of the Pulp Vixens series. So tell us a little bit about your inspirations for that.
I grew up loving comic books and Star Wars and all that stuff. They were huge in my life. But my first love was always 60s spy movies. I love that whole world. I love the music and I love everything. So these are my love letter to that style.
Well, we've been into the lair of a madman with Mr. Sin and Ursula Strand. We've gone to the depths of the ocean with Hawana Khalili in Deep Down. And now we've got Eleanor Bridgeburn in the field. So tell us a little bit about our newest operative and what she's got going on here.
She's a British agent. She's high fashion. She also means business. Ultimately, we were shooting for that poster moment. Sometimes you'd get middle of the action, and sometimes you'd get just before the action starts, and sometimes it's afterwards, like she's, making her phone call. You'll never guess what I just found, kind of thing.
And then you're like, I have to know what just happened.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, different ways to draw you into the story. It was exactly what we were looking for.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about her outfit as well, because you mentioned she's a spy from London. We've got the 60s era.
So much changed at that time. And one of the leading designers for London fashion in the swinging 60s was Mary Quant. And she introduced PVC to the world of clothing and fashion.
It seems so synonymous with that time period.
Yeah, of course, right. And that's Mary Quant. Well, this is my tip of the hat to her and her influence on the era.
Well, we love fashion that is also functional, especially if there's as much blood splatter going on
exactly, right.
as we have here.
You never know, you gotta be prepared.
This piece will come with a swap out portrait that has a matching kind of rain slicker hat, an alternate hairstyle as well. I love that it's almost like a disguise for her, maybe how she got into the place.
I love the details and I love the layering of details to add the story. And I mean, I don't know if you noticed the little computer cards that were burnt by the ashtray.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Like the IBM cards, and so like he was trying to, get rid of some evidence or whatever. And the money is a key part that's all over the place. And I originally had a nice clean bundle of money with the bank band on there. While I was doing reference, I came across a bundle of illicit, like drug money or something like that. And I realized, oh, that's very, very different. All the bills are crumpled, they're home wrapped with rubber bands. That's clearly what we're dealing with here is illicit money, like they were hastily counted and stuffed in his chair. So that's one of my favorite things.
I think it makes also then the explosion and what comes out of it like that much more chaotic.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
The story of Pulp Vixens isn't just in statue form anymore because we do have a collaboration between Sideshow and Heroes and Villains. Love their apparel. They have 4 different t-shirts with different unique designs for 2 for Deep Down and 2 for Mr. Sin. How does it feel to see the story and these characters, transcending their statue form and going into a different media?
Oh, it's awesome. It's a dream come true, no question about it. I'm a t-shirt and jeans guy, and so this is a perfect fit for me.
That is so much fun, and I'm so excited that we get to see Eleanor Bridgeburn now join the lineup of Pulp Vixens. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and thanks Sideshow for making my dream come true.
Now, your top secret mission, should you choose to accept it, is to find out more information about this piece by going to side.show/con.
Buy Hot Toys. It's Bond. James Bond.
We see Daniel Craig in his iconic last role of James Bond from No Time to Die here.
This is a beautiful look. It's an absolutely stunning portrait, and it's the eyes that get me. I remember when Daniel Craig took over the role, everybody loving his deep blue eyes.
Whenever you want to just stare dreamily into his eyes, you can make those eyes look wherever you want, especially if it's right into your heart.
Bond was always a snazzy dresser. This figure here, all done in that designer, highly tailored tuxedo, right down to the pocket square, the bow tie, and those high polished shoes.
I'm personally a big fan of the silk side paneling on his pants.
But even though he's sharp dressed, he also is a licensed to kill individual, so he's going to come with multiple options for weapons. Let's talk about this base.
The base is so neat. It is from the scene in the movie where they are in Cuba, and this is actually one of the tiles that you see him standing on in the movie.
So you get to recreate that scene. If you're into recreating scene moments, one thing that's been in every James Bond movie, it starts them off, and we look down the barreling of the gun, and then we see James Bond. What they've done is it attaches to the stand right here is going to be this backdrop, allowing you to create that scene. Now, it may be Daniel Craig's final adventure as James Bond, but it's the very first collectible in the James Bond series by Hot Toys, so make sure to follow along for more.
We're here with another amazing statue and art print combination, but more than that, we're here with artist Kat Sapene, who painted the Betty Page Love Hurts statue in tandem with Olivia de Barardinas, world-renowned pinup artist taking on a world-renowned pinup pioneer. Tell me a little bit about working with Olivia to bring this to life.
Olivia is so fun to work with. We gave her a copy of this and she took it home and did sort of a paint of it to then bring in, and so that I could use that as sort of my prototype to create our masters.
There is so much going on with this piece, so many lush textures to talk about, and of course Betty Page is iconic, so let's talk about her hairstyle there.
Her little bangs, Olivia came in having put in little metallic highlights, like little kind of like a dark silver highlights in here that is so perfect. I wouldn't have thought to do it, and even then I was a little hesitant, but honestly once you have it on there, it's just like, oh wow, that really makes those highlights pop.
You talk about Olivia coming from the two-dimensional discipline, then we have the matching Betty Page Love Hurts fine art print by Olivia, which comes hand-signed if you add that to your collection, so I mean, why wouldn't you? But this is a two-dimensional representation. We're seeing the front, we're seeing perhaps Miss Page's best angle, but this is a 3D piece and there is detail all around, and I'm sure Olivia came to you with some of that. But let's talk about, you know, the all around of her corset, because there is
there's
lace, there's texture to it as
there's
well.
just all sorts of details over the whole thing. I mean, like you can see here in the underpants, there's a little bit of like embroidery sort of detail and like a gold bronze sort of color. But then when you have this at home, you can look at the back, and the back of the corset, that same pattern is repeated, but it's a little bit more stark because it's like on a black background, so you can really see it and make it pop. But then, you know, there's also the little details of the subtle shading that Olivia had done in the underpants, in the corset, just enough so that you know that there's a little bit of covering, but not like, you know, a lot.
Well, she is a bondage model here, so I'm so excited that we get to see all of those details and so many different techniques used to bring this piece together. I think it's done to fabulous effect, and I'm so glad you got to collaborate with Olivia on
Thank you.
that.
Yeah, me too. I love working with her.
And I hope you guys at home are just as excited now seeing what it could look like if you had the statue and the print in your collection. So if you're looking to bring these home today, go to side.show/con. Let's take a look at another art print and statue duo, this time the Succubus from Sideshow Originals. Let's start with the premium format figure.
She is so beautiful. I mean, her face is gorgeous, her body, and then you start to look at all of these little tiny details. She's wearing beautiful jewelry. You can see she has bracelets, armbands, an anklet. The blood is dripping from that skull and all the way down her foot. I really think that these wings look like she could literally take flight off of your shelf at any moment.
Sideshow has its roots in horror, so we always want to mix the beautiful with the terrifying. And this piece is also over 30 inches tall, so you are going to have a nice imposing character on your shelf. Now, if we can also tempt you to get the art print, this is the Succubus screen print by artist God Machine, a two-dimensional representation of the character based on the Sideshow Originals. And this one is super fun. It is a 5-color screen print, and it is pulled over gold paper, so you're gonna have that metallic base complementing all of those unique pops of color.
Literally nothing could be better than having both of these pieces side by side. You can really see the difference between the gorgeous, gorgeous painting and then this beautiful 3D sculpture.
They are sold separately, but it's just one of the great examples of how we work with the artists in different dimensions to create the ultimate display for you. And if you want to see these or any other artist originals we've featured on the show today, be sure to check out side.show/con.
We're taking a look at J. Scott Campbell's Fairy Tale Fantasies collection, and I am honored today to be joined by painter Chi Izuma. Chi, happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, Chi, you worked on all these pieces, yeah?
Yes, I did.
Now, I know you love all your pieces equally,
Yes.
but do you have a favorite?
Well, my favorite will be this one. I'm a cat person, of course. It's very interesting piece, you know, have almost like a movements of just that figure.
There's so many colors that you
Yes,
use here.
yes.
So when you're looking at that color, is it hard to translate, or have you been doing this long enough?
I'm getting used
You're
to
a
it.
professional.
Yes, but at the same time, you kind of need to figure out, okay, what color it works, because his body is blue.
Right.
So make sure everything has to work. This focal point is his face.
Yeah.
What's the next your eye's gonna move? So I kind of make it everything interesting where it's a shadow hits and you see that some parts of the color is change and then kind of travel through to the tree, to sign. But it can also have
tells a story.
Yes.
We've talked about Lady Cheshire here. Anything you can tell me about these 3 other figures here?
Oh, okay. Well, the very interesting struggling part was this
Sultana,
piece, yeah.
Arabian Nights.
And then just make it interesting about the whole base with the started with the clear resin. And the whole carpet was pretty entertaining to paint.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, even like with Lady Cheshire, I feel like you're working with so many colors here.
Yes.
The gold looks like it's shining.
Yes.
Like it looks gold. I think that's really, really exciting. And then I have to talk about the Evil Queen here.
When I was painting this mirror piece, I knew they will put some lights feature. But when I was painting it, of course, there's no light feature.
Yeah.
But once I seen a finished product, once you're able to turn on the lights, that was
It looked very cool. Yeah,
it was
completely
great.
changes
it.
So you've obviously done a lot of stuff with J. Scott Campbell. What do you normally paint?
Most of the time I paint like female figure.
Okay.
But I like working on the creature stuff.
I feel like you almost got to combine a little bit of creature and female in that one.
That's why I like the whole base is interesting and it's everything. So it's a lot of stuff you can look at this piece,
Yeah.
All the different mushrooms to the
There's
trees.
so much that captures your eye. It's fun.
Yes.
It's great.
Yeah.
Chi Izuma, thank you so much for being with us. This was great. And you can check out all of these pieces at side.show/con. The dark side of the Force is strong. With these two pieces, we are so happy to showcase two of the brand new pieces from our Star Wars Legends collection. We've got a statue and a fine art print, and this statue is Darth Nihilus.
Now, for fans of the video game, you might recognize him as the Lord of Hunger, the guy that's gonna come and suck your life force. He's very scary.
He's intimidating. He's standing over 21 inches tall. This is our 5th scale, but we do have a quarter scale that comes with a light up red lightsaber.
There's so much detail in this piece in terms of the lore from the video games that the artist took with this, including the base, which is a statue of Marka Ragnos. He's a Dark Lord of the Sith in the Valley of the Dark Lords.
Oh, wow.
The urn on the back is also a reference to the many tombs on the planet.
That's pretty scary.
But you know what I love about this figure is it comes with a swap out portrait, and you can also do the Force Lightning hands, which is also pretty menacing.
Can't be a Dark Lord without it. But in addition to the statue, we do also have this beautiful fine art piece.
Yeah, this is gonna be the dark forces of the Old Republic. We've got the 3 bad guys right here. Of course, we've got Darth Nihilus, Darth Revan, and Darth Malgus. Look at those eyes, Chris. What do you think about that?
Those eyes are piercing. Yeah, I mean, you can tell the dark side is emanating through it. And I love that Dave Wilkins isn't afraid of color, and he uses that color to such a great degree here to make these guys look even more menacing.
Yeah, especially the purple over here, the red, and then he's got a couple of planets featured. We've got Korriban, which you'll know from the video game, and of course Coruscant, which a lot of us know if you watch the movies.
They kind of complement each other as well. You've got the statue, you've got that piece of art there that really showcase these villains in all of their sinister nature, and you can take a closer look at them if you go to side.show/con. Ewok apologists unite, look at our guy.
This is the Wicket premium format figure. And what I love about it is it's cute, right? Wicket's always been adorable, but he's also mighty. He's ferocious. He's stepping on that Scout Trooper helmet like he means business.
Yeah, he is. And you can see he's even like putting some weight down on it too. Like, you stay down. I don't think that battle could have been won without the Ewoks. And I like seeing Wicket here in his warrior pose. He has little teeth. He's like yelling a little like Ewokese like chant. He's holding up that spear. I love it. I like the texture of it. You can see the fabric of the hood. You can see the black stitching in it.
It feels very handmade, and it looks like it's also been through battle with him.
Yes.
Which is awesome because that battle is so iconic, and I love that they were able to capture that in one figure with this base here, that piece of Endor that you can take home and add to your collection. I just think it really rounds out the figure, but it is such a presence for a little guy. How tall is this figure?
This figure is 18 inches tall, and he may be fierce, but you can add him to your other lovable collection of Star Wars creatures by going to side.show/con.
Now we're here with Bernardo Esquivel, painter at Sideshow, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Luke Skywalker and X-Wing Red 5 Standing By premium format figure. I know that you are a huge Star Wars fan, so let's start with, what does your Star Wars fandom mean to you?
Star Wars came out in '77. I was 7 years old, so very influenced, and just, you know, when I saw the movie, I was blown away. And in some way, I was like, one way or another, I have to do something with Star Wars in my life at some point. So here we are, which is very cool. In the hangar, where they're getting into their X-Wings, was such an iconic scene. It looks so real and tangible, right? Just because everything is so lived in and weathered and it's realistic. They just look like real pilots. It felt so like what pilots would do getting into their ships.
Now, this piece is so highly collaborative. Many artists had their hands on this, from the sculpt to the cut and sew and to the paint process. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about the paint of this piece and your work on it as well.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, the portrait here of Luke Skywalker, beautifully done by Wan Lee. I mean, having him on board to finish that off was like the icing on the cake, right? I mean, that is Luke Skywalker. And I went ahead and finished off, you know, with the X-Wing, the base elements, and his costume here, weathering that thing, and especially his iconic helmet.
There are so many different types of textures. I mean, we're seeing also the stonework, we've got that faux leather, we've got metal elements here. And then of course, I mean, we have to talk about this immense X-Wing, and I would love to know, especially because of your passion and your fandom, like what details were you able to bring to this that fans wouldn't normally, you know, get a closer look at?
Yeah, so in the filming prop, the X-Wing that he's getting into, it has that one red stripe there. So he's getting into there, but then I said, you know what though? I don't know if people really remember when they did the filming miniatures, they all have their distinct markings. So I said, what if we did the Red 5 markings on this piece so that it's like a love letter to Red 5, Luke's X-Wing. That's what I did. I went looked at all the reference I've had through the years, combed through all that, making sure every chip and scratch and the way they weathered, reading about how they did it, talking to a lot of the old ILM guys, you know,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then saving that in my memory, even writing stuff down, and then finally being able to execute that and bringing it here.
I'm even looking at the torpedo cannon over here and just seeing the types of distress and kind of burn marks that would be on that.
Yeah.
Really unique, you know, details all throughout this piece.
Putting a little love into inside the cockpit as well. There's a lot going on in there, just like the one-to-one piece that they did for the set.
I don't think anyone would challenge your fandom on this. I mean, it's clear that a lot of love went into this. If you had to pick one, do you have a favorite detail or a little touch that you added that you really love about this piece?
The helmet.
Ooh.
The helmet was getting the colors right on that thing and the weathering as well. So
that's got some great distress details. I love the kind of dark smudges over the
yeah,
rebel
and
symbol.
that's going over reference on how many, you know, different ways it was weathered and how it looked at this specific part of the scene.
Yeah, capture like a very specific moment that fans will recognize.
Yeah, and it's going back and forth, like the color of the suit. It's orange fabric, but then when we put it on there, we're like, it's too bright. So we went and dingied it up, weathered it, the vest as well, just like how they did it in the movies. So yeah, once you see it in 4K, you see like they're all dirty and dusty. So we wanted to replicate that to just make it look right. As much as it was like hard work, because it really was to get this across the plate, to get it done, it was fun. It was a nice collaboration because we all get along and we wanted this to work out. So I'm glad it did.
Well, thank you so much, Bernardo, for telling us a little bit more about this amazing piece. Now, if you want to add this to your collection, this is the Luke Skywalker and X-Wing Red 5 Standing By premium format figure, and you can see it right now at side.show/con.
All right, we're taking a look at the Skywalker Saga 456 fine art print. What do you love about this?
There's so much to love about this print, but of course we've got those colors clashing, the blue and the red, the dark and the light side, right?
Yes.
And it's just shadowing all of our favorite Skywalker Saga characters.
Talking about the Skywalker Saga, you gotta have it represented here, the original trilogy. You've got A New Hope, you've got Yoda, but my favorite up here, you've got Return of the Jedi. And I think there's something so great about seeing father and son going at it, the lightsabers clashing, and the way that Ian McDonald, the artist, did this. You can also see the sparks. And I think that that's something that you feel those hits, which is great.
The sparks, but he's also got a lot of texture on this, a lot of different brush strokes that just make this piece feel even more alive when you look at it, especially Luke's eyes here. I mean, that's the main focal point of the whole print is, of course, Luke Skywalker.
Absolutely, and if you're gonna talk about a Skywalker Saga, it all ties into the main guy himself here, and I think Luke being so forefront here and having such a great visage, like the way he's painted those eyes.
Yes.
Incredible, even the glow from the lightsaber, the first time that he's igniting his dad's lightsaber, the way that it goes off of his hair. I feel like that's just one thing about this print is you feel the force through this. You can feel the force.
Yes.
It's alive, it's vibrant, and I really, really love it.
This is amazing. Chris, tell me about this.
We're looking at the Star Wars Scum and Villainy Collection, Wave 1 and 2, all the way from the Cantina to Jabba's skiff guards here. There's a lot of characters here, so Athena, I'm gonna need you to pick one out for me. Who's your favorite?
I mean, I have to go with the iconic Greedo, right? The whole debate, who shot first? But I love his costume. I mean, it looks so weathered and real and lifelike.
Now, I couldn't fully hear you over this incredible Jabba the Hutt right here. I thought you said Greedo, but are you sure you didn't mean Beto? Because we've got Beto on display, and I know you're sitting there thinking, who is Beto? Well, as a kid, if you ever watched Return of the Jedi and all of a sudden Greedo showed up in Jabba's palace and you were like, wait, how did he get there? Well, guess what? That wasn't Greedo, that's Beto. On full display here, as you can see, Beto looks very different than Greedo. He's got that popped collar there. I mean, he just looks cooler. Beto's fresh.
Now, we talked about Beto and Greedo, but do we have names for all of these other guys here?
Absolutely we do. Now, you might have called them names as a kid when you had the Kenner figures, but they all actually have names and backstories and families. You know, they all grew up somewhere. So let's start all the way back at the Cantina for Wave 1, and we're gonna take a look at a guy who's got a death sentence in several systems. That's Dr. Cornelius Evison. Then we've got Ponda Baba, before his amputation by Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Deveronian Labria, and the spy himself, Garindin.
And of course, like we mentioned, we have Greedo and Beto.
Now from Return of the Jedi on Jabba's skiff, Pegeti Rook, Tessic, Cathaba, Vizam, Klaatu, and Woof.
And at the top, of course, we have Bib Fortuna next to the almighty Jabba with Salacious Crumb. Star Wars would be nothing without all those cool alien characters, right? So if you want to round out your collection at home, you need to add these guys.
Absolutely, and you can take a look right now and see who's available for pre-order or RSVP, sans sold separately, and you can check all of that out at side.show/con.
Today we are so excited to show you some new Star Wars prototypes from Hot Toys.
From the prequels to the sequels to the expanded universe and beyond. Let's start at the very beginning, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I never thought I'd see the day Hot Toys would do it, but yes, we have a Jar Jar Binks.
They have finally done it, and what a great day this is. I think that at this point in time, we've all come around to Jar Jar,
We
right?
have come to love Jar Jar, and I love the figure. All new style.
Oh my gosh, I love the skin texture. The painting is so detailed, and you really can see everything so well with this seamless arm. He's got his tank top going on. He's ready.
We have swap out eyes with this to change the expression, but one of the things that really adds a lot of life is the addition of the magnetic tongue. You're going to be able to do a lot and recreate some of those fun and wild scenes.
I really like this because Jar Jar is such an expressive character, and so the fact that they were able to capture this is amazing.
And to now be able to have it. Now we jump a little further to the sequels, and we get one of our new heroes.
Poe Dameron, one of my favorite guys. Love that he's wearing the orange rebel suit.
Always love the flight suits, and I've loved that it's this bright, vibrant orange. Now, yes, it is bright and vibrant, but look at all of the detail they've added as far as the weathering. Poe, this is not a first mission. He's gone on a lot of them.
He is an adventurer, and you can really tell by the state of his helmet. You definitely see some weathering patterns on here. There's tiny, tiny little scratch details in there. He's seen some things.
That helmet will also be wearable on this incredible portrait of Oscar Isaac. People have waited a long time for these two, and they are available for pre-order right now. These are the all-new Obi-Wan Kenobi figures by Hot Toys.
From his appearance in Attack of the Clones.
You're looking at both the artisan version and the sculpted haired version of the figure. Now, Whitney, both of the figures come with all of what you're seeing, from the droid to the Jedi robes, lightsabers, and all.
Oh yeah, you want that hair to be looking as realistic as possible because he's jumping out a window holding onto a droid with one hand.
You want to get that wind through that mullet there. I mean, this is probably the best Obi-Wan's hair ever looked. Debatable whether it's the best hair in Star Wars. But let's take a look at this figure. This is him without the robe, and we see all of those Jedi robes underneath the large outer one. And there were a lot of layers. That's what made it so unique.
There are a lot of layers. No idea how he kept cool on Tatooine, to be honest.
You want to talk cool? Check out the cool boots, man. And these are done with a faux leather, and right down to the detail, they leap off the screen.
Oh yeah, you can even see at the toes here of the boots, there's a lot of weathering right there.
A few Jedi adventures, that great likeness of Ewan McGregor, all of those Jedi robes, and here we're getting that outer brawn robe. It's almost velvet. It's very, very soft and drapes beautifully, allowing you to recreate whatever moment you want from Attack of the Clones. Now, for more information about either the artisan or collector's version of this figure, head on over to side.show/con.
From Revenge of the Sith, it's everyone's favorite, Saesee Tiin.
I like that what we're getting by Hot Toys is those characters we only saw for a few moments, but we are expanding that Jedi Council, and it's such a unique design. That was the fun part of those prequels, is getting to see the Jedi were not just human characters, they were like this.
His tusks, man, these are the real deal. The texture on them looks great, super realistic.
The whole sculpt on that face, and then of course we get into the Jedi robes that we got to see. All of the different layers, and each one of them has wire in there, so we get even more posability. Now, Whitney, I said that he was only on screen for a little bit, but he did appear in the Clone Wars. Was that a show you watched?
Oh, I am a big fan of the animated Star Wars series. The coolest thing about this figure is that he has little removable arm gauntlets that look exactly like the ones from the animated series.
You can swap out and then create even more scenes with Saesee Tiin. Expand the Jedi Council in your collection. He's available for pre-order right now. Whitney, this is the creation of one of the most incredible characters and memorable characters in cinema history, Darth Vader. And that is done by this guy right here, Supreme Chancellor / Emperor Palpatine.
He's working hard. He has 2 jobs going on right now. I love that you can switch him back and forth.
We have this disfigured portrait that you're seeing in front of you here, but it is going to have that swap out, so you can kind of go back to the Supreme Chancellor look. Now, Whitney, check this out. Hidden underneath those dark robes, look at how intricate all of the underrobes
on those robes
are with
is
that Supreme
gorgeous.
Chancellor.
I love that.
Now, right here, you see he's got a bit of the high ground over this guy over here, Anakin Skywalker, who of course becomes Darth Vader. There are 4 versions of this right here. Whitney, I wanted to show you every bell and whistle that Hot Toys made on this one. This is the Darth Vader Deluxe Version Special Edition.
He is fresh off the barbecue on Mustafar right here in this place in time, laying on the table, getting worked on by these very creepy droids. The eyes are so expressive here. You really can see the weight of what he's just experienced.
As a fully posable Hot Toys figure, yes, you have him here on the, well, we'll call it the barbecue grill, but you're going to be able to complete that Vader figure, throw on the cape, the lightsaber, and you decide exactly where in the journey of Darth Vader you are. So for more information about either of these, make sure to go to side.show/con.
Punch that hyperdrive because it's time to follow us over here and talk about these incredible Star Wars Extended Universe figures.
This is the 6-scale version by Hot Toys of Darth Nihilus.
One of the creepiest masks I've ever seen in Star Wars, not just because of that skull on the front, but because of what lies underneath the mask.
The fact that it's kind of that partial mask is really wild, and then he wears a very unique hood over that and then a lot of different robe layers.
I love the way that they are fanning out like they're being caught in a breeze. They are so weathered looking at the bottom. There's dirt, there's tears, there's little tiny holes in there. This guy's seen some action.
Now, if you've been following along with Hot Toys, you found out about Hono's studio and this new one. Whitney, check it out. This is their take on Darth Vader from the Rebels TV show.
Rebels is such a beautifully animated series, so I love this Darth Vader figure. I'm obsessed with the fact that they brought back the red eyes in his helmet. It looks so cool.
That's one of the things that I loved about Rebels as well, as it was that throwback to original music, original sounds, the McQuarrie concept used as that Vader. So we're seeing that kind of elongated helmet look. Even the whole torso and the height of him is a very thin and slender Vader.
I also really like that you can change up the background back here. It is just gonna make your shelf look that much cooler. One of the coolest things about Hot Toys is that they are always expanding their collection as the Star Wars universe continues to expand, so you do have opportunities to tell all those stories right there on your shelves.
Unlimited possibilities.
They're alive! They're alive! Whitney, I think we're surrounded by some dicey characters here.
Slicey and dicey for sure.
Speaking of slicing and dicing, I think we gotta look at the masters of that. We got Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees in their 6-scale looks right here, both rocking their looks from the 3rd film in each of their respective series.
No horror collection is complete without Freddy and Jason. These are iconic. I love the attention to detail. Here on Jason's pants, you can see that there's very realistic blood spatter patterns going on here.
It's summertime. He's at summer camp. This is when he's thriving. But
he's living
Whitney,
his best life.
if these guys are gonna have a showdown once again, who do you put your money on?
I'm putting my money on Jason specifically because of the fact that if he cuts off Freddy's hand,
Yeah, you just
all I
gotta
gotta
wake
do is
up.
wake up.
Like that. Well, speaking of people you wouldn't want to wake up next to, this guy would have you screaming because it is showtime every time with our 6-scale Beetlejuice figure. Here he is in all of his gross, gnarly glory.
He looks so realistically disgusting. The ghost with the most moss, the most texture. I can't believe how realistic all of this looks. His bony little hands have veins protruding. It's disgusting.
He's great though. He's got this synthetic wild hair, and those hands that you're talking about, you get 11 interchangeable hands. One of them can even hold the handbook for the recently deceased.
Oh, that is
Necessary.
so cool.
Yeah.
No way.
But one thing I really do love about this too is not only do you have Beetlejuice, the man himself, but you've got this great 80s representative VHS box right here, and I think that this is great for collectors when you display things. It just complements each other so well.
I don't know if this is weird, but I think that my favorite thing ever might be this box. I
cool.
love it so much. I want it in my home. I think it's perfect to display with the Beetlejuice because you have the comedy sticker, you have the sides of the box that look like an actual VHS tape from the 80s. They pair together perfectly. But now it's time for us to shake, 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 Senora, right on this way to show you guys our newest, latest, greatest figure from our horror line.
That's right, we went from the 80s all the way to 2023 because we've got our 6th scale John Carver from Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. You gotta save a seat for this guy at your table because he means business.
He has an axe. He has the most sinister and soulless pilgrim mask on. The hat is magnetic. It's so, so cool.
Yeah, he's got these sculpted boots too, and I like about the mask especially because you can swap that out with one that's a little more melted, so we get a little finale vibes for John Carver here. But what I do really like about him too is, you know, this is a guy that we're probably going to see more of. They said that there's a Thanksgiving 2 coming, so you want to get on that gravy train real soon.
Before there's no leftovers.
That's right. But we are talking about that axe here, and he actually comes with quite a few more things.
What else does this come with?
Well, John Carver comes with a pitchfork, axe, a meat tenderizer. He's got a goblet with Amy's blood, a fork with Kathleen's leftovers, a carving knife, tranquilizer gun, microphone headset, and of course, turkey apron.
Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. Did we show up wearing the same one?
You can check out John Carver and everything we've looked at so far by going to side.show/con. From John Carver to John Constantine, we're looking at our Just Another Exorcism premium format figure here. Whitney, what do you think about Constantine?
The level of attention to detail. They have a little 9 of diamonds playing card right here. They have these teeny, teeny, tiny little cigarette butts, bottle of whiskey, and then the eyeballs. The eyeballs are the scariest part. You can see them all over this figure, on the back, on the bottom. Ah!
Well, I love that you're talking about that because, yeah, the whole figure is kind of surrounded by this eldritch, Lovecraftian horror. There's things coming out of everywhere, and it's just sculpted so beautifully and eerie and creepy. You've got this kind of hand lingering towards Constantine. But one thing about it is that you said you love the little details.
I do.
And one little detail that I love is right here on top of the tombstone, there's a bunch of Roman numerals. And those Roman numerals actually all coincide with important dates in Constantine's publication history.
You can tell that the artists really know what the fans want to see. They have to love this just as much as we do if they're putting that kind of Easter eggs in this.
Well, that's the thing too. It's fans creating this for the fans. And I think it's just like this beautiful circle, and it really works because they're working on things that they love and that they're really interested in. So they throw in those little Easter eggs and those little details. They want to get them down to exactly as you saw them in the comics because they want it to be that accurate.
I love the realism in this piece. I love the attention to detail.
Yeah, and there's so many details to look at, and you can pick this piece up for yourself by going to side.show/con.
We are so hyped to show you the new Predator 2.0 Deluxe from Hot Toys.
Fans have been waiting for Hot Toys to revisit the Predator franchise, and here we are with the first appearance of Predator and that wonderful Stan Winston design.
This character is dressed so cool. For starters, he's got those fishnets stretched over those muscular thighs, paired of course with a tasteful pair of strappy sandals, great for traipsing through the jungle.
You bring up the jungle, this deluxe base, wow, that we get all the jungle elements of there down to the booby traps set.
I think that one of the coolest things about this is that you can actually move the little skulls wherever you want and kind of place them at your leisure.
The first time we saw Predator and he takes off that helmet, we saw that very, very scary face, and the mandibles open up. This figure is going to give us that helmet, but it's also going to give us 2 ways to show off the mandibles with the moving eyes, so we can really bring a lot of life to this Predator figure.
The only thing that I would not want to face down besides those mandibles is this giant shoulder cannon he has going on here. That is terrifying.
Between that and the bladed gauntlet on that, he is a very deadly character. It is fantastic that we have gotten to see so much Predator recently, from the movie Prey to the new animated show to an upcoming film, and for Hot Toys to come back and revisit this franchise is spectacular. Now you can add this Hot Toys Predator to your collection today.
Now we're taking a closer look at the more seductive side of horror, starting with the Vampire's Lust premium format figure.
This is part of the Sideshow Originals collection, which allows the artist to take traditional archetypes and tell their own stories.
A lot of storytelling going on, especially in the sculpt and the physics of it. We have a vampiress who has drained her victim in a very seductive way.
It's the weight that we see on the hand of the unconscious victim being held that I really like.
It's so possessive and so perfectly in the vampire style, and I love the attitude of the vampiress herself, of course. She's got blood dripping down her face and her chest. You know, she's just fed, she's very hungry, and we have all of this ornate kind of gothic style clothing all the way down into the base with those bats.
Now, there is so much story to be told when you have two characters in one piece.
This vampire might steal blood, but over here we've got a woman who's a total heart stealer. This is the Witch of the Woods premium format figure, also from Sideshow Originals.
Amy, have you noticed how many witches and warlocks are redheads?
Yes, now that you've brought it up, I am thinking of a lot of characters in pop culture, but this is a beautiful original one.
When we talk about beauty, the portrait on here, I love the smirk. I love the confidence that she has, of course, below that red hair, but then the oversized hat cocked to the side. Again, such confidence.
The longer you look at this piece, the more you realize she's hiding a lot of secrets here, and I want to point out, of course, the biggest one being that terrifying desiccated arm gripping that heart she's stolen.
It even looks wet.
I know, the artists have had a lot of fun with a lot of blood in these pieces. Very cool, very unique, but that's not the only thing that's hiding in this piece. If you take it down to her cape, she's got this devilish black goat emerging actually from her cloak. If you look inside the sculpt, there's this purple void, it's got some cool ripples, and it's partially emerging from that, almost being summoned.
That's down toward that base that is, of course, the woods with those little magical toadstools, which I have a feeling are pretty poisonous, and yet she still walks barefoot through the woods.
This is completely her element, her realm, but like you said, I love those pops of red because they bring us right back up here to her beautiful portrait once again.
Now, to learn more about these Sideshow Originals, make sure to go to side.show/con.
Next up, we're taking a closer look at some pieces from Sideshow's collaboration with Coffin Comics, La Muerta premium format figure, and La Muerta Dia de los Muertos by artist Orlando Arocena.
Amy, black and white and color. Her outfit and then all of the pops of color that are coming on the statue as well as the art piece. I love it.
This is such an amazing representation of the character. I mean, even if you're not familiar with the Coffin Comics story, you take a look at her and you know this is a vigilante on a mission.
The walk forward, the confidence of her character like that. And I want to talk about the base and what is happening with the storytelling here. This is all sculpted, all painted. We're seeing that satin, we're seeing that aged wood, the paint that's been faded, particularly there on that carving that the entire back of the coffin is.
Oh, absolutely. This piece is detailed all the way around, especially because we have that ofrenda style altar base, some very beautiful cultural elements wrapped into the storytelling here. Now, to go with it, we also have La Muerta Dia de los Muertos by artist Orlando Arocena, who's also known as Mexifunk. So who better to take on this story than him?
This is another version of that black and white and then the bright, almost neon colors with those storytelling elements that you talked about.
He packs so much detail into a singular image, especially in the graffiti that lines the scene. We've even got some hints of some of the characters from the comics, especially those she faces down against the cartel led by Mama Z. And then we do have those kind of spooky priest-like guys, the fanatics, kind of gripping at her, but they're not holding her down. They're not slowing her down at all.
Now, these are two pieces that look absolutely gorgeous next to each other.
And although they are sold separately, this is just one amazing example of what your collection could look like if you bring home a statue and its matching art print. Now, what would your horror collection be without a classic host? This is the Elvira Maquette red glitter dress variant by Tweeterhead.
Amy, I remember waiting Saturday nights to see Cassandra Peterson as Elvira host the horror movies. It was the right amount of sexy, the right amount of scary, and a lot of funny. And I love the expression here because it really brings that fun that she had on the screen.
Tweeterhead has captured her larger-than-life personality in a scaled-down statue format, and of course, they've captured all of her curves throughout this beautiful sculpture.
The dress, the way in which it drapes, and then of course catches the light in that sparkle. This shines.
I love the way it fans out along the bottom. You've also got those drapey sleeves as she hits that confident pose, and it really just catches the light and accentuates all of the little details and the other bits of sparkle and shine, like in her jewelry.
Tweeterhead has given us the classic black dress, now the red glitter sparkle dress, and they promise to be doing even more. To make sure you get more information about this one, go to side.show/con. New from Prime One Studio, part of the Museum Masterpiece XL series.
This is the Scorched Xenomorph from Alien Romulus, and this piece is monstrous in every sense of the word.
Absolutely huge. That tail is larger than my arm, the way in which it swings there, and is incredibly deadly looking.
There's so much design to this iconic character, but you'd really never have the opportunity or want the opportunity to get too close to all of this detail, but they've captured it all here for fans to look at.
Seeing it in kind of what we have here in the studio light really lets you see those details. You really see that kind of muscle. Like it's almost like torn, and we get those different colors and different shades in it.
You have all those kind of cool blues and ashy colors, almost the more biological parts of it, and then as you were mentioning, that copper almost feels like the mechanics just kind of pulling through, and you see it really nicely highlighted throughout. I mean, even on the head with these kind of strange tendrils that wrap to and from different pieces of the dome. They look like, you know, metal cords.
I want to talk about the design of the skull, and that there's that translucency to it, almost kind of a smoked glass effect, and then we get that light up in the front and we get that damage, but you see that skull underneath going all the way back.
There's light up features throughout the base here. I mean, there's this faux computer screen that I love on this side. We've got the light up industrial corridor on the bottom here, some other alarm lights, and you know, they're being completely swarmed over by face huggers in the meantime.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of them. There's more than I want to count. There's so much in this design, and then you get, as you said, lost in the base and the details on that.
It's so beautiful. It really is indicative of the perfect organism. Now, if you want to bring this home to your collection, it is available for pre-order on our website, so learn more at side.show/con.
From the world of DC, we're looking at two brand new DC pieces by Hot Toys. First up, Dr. Jonathan Crane, Scarecrow.
Would you look at that creepy mask? It is terrifying. The texture on that thing with all of the little burlap details.
All of the little stitching, all fully sculpted, and we see the eyes behind the mask. Those are fully movable, making it even creepier.
The best part is that if you're looking for Cillian Murphy's handsome face, no need to look very far. It actually comes with a separate head that looks exactly like Cillian Murphy.
This 2.0 is the very first time we've seen an unmasked portrait, and it is absolutely stunning. Of course, that works really well with this beautifully tailored suit. Whitney, what did you notice in there?
If you take a little peek under the right part of his suit jacket, you will notice that he has all of his gear impeccably hidden so that he can blend in.
Now, he's going to come with also a backdrop to give you more of the feel of Gotham, as well as an attachment onto the stand, giving that Streets of Gotham look.
And from the streets of Gotham City all the way up to the skies of Metropolis, we have a brand new Superman figure.
Brand new, Whitney, but for me, it's a throwback to the original look. The bright blue, the bright yellow, and the red trunks. I love this look. I'm so glad that they did this.
You can tell that James Gunn had a lot of James fun when he designed it.
Going with the classic suit, but then giving a bit of modification. We have the texture in the suit that you see there, but a fully posable figure. And there, of course, you're gonna have to have a large red cape, fully posable with all the wire inside.
Oh, absolutely, you're gonna have to be able to pose that cape because he's flying through the skies, baby. You gotta have the wind blowing in there.
Let's talk about the portrait. Yes. This is incredibly beautiful. And then the moving eyes. As we know, the stare of Superman is pretty darn intense, and you're gonna get to be able to decide where that glance goes. But something else that's all brand new about this figure is the way in which you see it on the stand, Whitney. This is an all new design. It's a magnetic attachment on the back of the figure that allows it to kind of lift right off that Fortress of Solitude base there and take him into flight.
And you do not want Superman to fly alone. He needs his little buddy. He needs Crypto right beside him with a matching cape that is also full of wires that you can pose.
I love that they have included this. We are incredibly honored to be able to take a look at these prototypes. Now, I am really excited to fly in these bright pops of color onto my shelf at home.
Now let's take a look at 3 new 3rd scale busts from Tweeterhead, continuing their DC Universe line, but exclusively available through Sideshow.
Let's start with Catwoman, the amount of bling, okay? We've got it on the belt, we've got it on the ring, we've got it on the cape, and then of course that jewel that she's taken, but also shimmering are those green eyes.
I love all of the sparkle to it. She's got that classic beauty makeup going too. I love the kind of subtle eyeshadow. She's even got the little beauty mark on her cheek there, the red lips, all of that perfectly coordinated to heist some valuable gems. And then she's rocking those sharp claws as well. She's got that beautiful manicure.
Speaking of one who is classy, particularly in the dress, is the Riddler.
Yes, he's sharp dressed and he's got a sharp mind as well. I love the details on this. Again, kind of a very classic, almost campy, the fun side of the Riddler's personality with that, and all of those green highlights throughout his suit and his hat. And then we've got really unique textures here also with the almost leather-like purple gloves he's got going on.
Let's bring up that expression. Behind that mask, we've got this diabolical, almost maniacal look. And yes, that is an expression that Amy has given me from time to time. I just really like that that's what they've chosen, because we're not sure what he's going to do.
And they're both tied together, sold separately, but with those unique kind of Gotham Art Deco bases. Very classy, very classic for these 2 rogues. But now we're taking a look at the 3rd piece in this display here. This is the unpainted prototype. So you're not seeing living clay here. This is the unpainted prototype of the Clayface bust. And this guy's massive.
We've got the oversized hand here and even more story elements on the back.
Yeah, I took a look back there and it was, I don't even want to look again. It's really creepy. There's faces coming out. There's holes in the clay. It's so gross. And he's really one of Batman's more slippery rogues. And I wouldn't want to come face to face to Clayface with him anytime soon. All of these look amazing together and they are coming soon exclusively through Sideshow. But Tweeterhead isn't just doing villains. They're also doing DC heroes as well. So let's take a closer look at a really exciting collaboration between Tweeterhead and Legendary Beast Studios.
Now, this is the very first time that Legendary Beast Studios has been available in the US, and it's a Sideshow exclusive. The next thing, Amy, is these are 6 scale statues, so they're right up my alley.
What you're seeing here is a completed prototype for Superman and 2 unpainted prototypes for the rest of the Trinity, Batman and Wonder Woman. Let's begin with Superman leading the way.
The pose itself, when you think Superman, that's the type pose. It is the confident hero, the windblown cape, the upward gaze, but then all of the storytelling elements down on that base.
I'm obsessed with the paint job of this. It really looks like a kind of copper bronzy plaque. Got the eagle emblem and some other characters from his supporting cast all the way throughout.
Now let's go down to those unpainted prototypes, but stick with the base, because this Batman base has a lot of story behind it.
I'm so excited to eventually see what these are going to look like in full paint. Batman is standing on top of the bat signal itself. All the way around the base, he's got tons of faces sculpted in here that are some of his greatest villains, but also his Bat family.
Batman has that stern expression, and the cowl has those elongated ears. But I like the flip of that cape. We really get the breeze going on that.
And then we've got Wonder Woman over here, looking so regal and strong, and I love the muscles that they've given her.
Getting to see these in that grayscale really allows you to see the detail that goes into all of that sculpt, even before all of this unique paint. And then more story again down on this base.
Even just in the sculpt here, you can see the kind of classical Greek style of storytelling with art tableaus and pottery and stuff. So I am thrilled to see what this is going to look like.
To find out more information about these Tweeterhead and Legendary Beast Studio pieces, make sure to go to side.show/con. Continuing in the line of premium format figures by Sideshow, it's Superman!
And Crypto!
Now this is an early prototype sample of the Superman and Crypto, but because now that we've seen the movie, we're enhancing these pieces to deliver the quality fans truly deserve. Our artists are hard at work making sculptural and paint changes to these figures to make sure they're as accurate to what you see on the screen. But we're so excited, we just had to show them off.
James Gunn has really brought this version of Superman back to his roots. He is showing that so much with these vibrant, bright colors. The little gold trim around the Superman logo, it just makes the blue of the suit and the bright red of those trunks pop.
There are elements of Superman throughout the ages in this. Up at the collar, we see the design of kind of the new 52.
Even though it is that solid colors of the blue and red, they've gone and added a texture to it, breaking that up. And then for me, what is always going to be my Superman is the wearing of the trunks on the outside with a nice big belt.
You gotta have the trunks, gotta have the big belt, but what about this cape?
Fully sculpted, and what that means is the way that it looks with the wind whipping through there, the texture, that is all permanently on there, and it's going to look perfect every time that you look at this thing. Now, there is a love story in this movie.
Move over, Lois Lane. We know that the real star is Crypto.
To go and mirror the relationship there, we not only have the collar, but we have the cape and that matching base. But the texture in the fur is so good.
And he has that classic Crypto ear cock to one side. That's the best part of the movie, in my opinion, is how expressive this little guy is and how he expresses that through that cocked ear.
Now, Whitney and I, we love this movie, and we're curious what your favorite scenes are, so let us know in the comments below. We can't wait to share the final look at these figures soon. Here are two brand new pieces from Prime One Studio and the world of DC.
Let's start with the Catwoman 1/3 scale statue from Batman Hush. This is a continuation of Prime One's Hush collection, but she stands alone and is such a beautiful piece capturing a nighttime scene on a rooftop in Gotham.
There's so much off the comic book page right in that suit. The design with these hash marks going through, which was a texture we saw on the page, and they've done that here in 3D.
It's such a unique addition because you would expect a sculpted super suit to be flat or very sleek, but I love seeing that because it really does just evoke that two-dimensional image then translated into a 3D design, and it couples really nicely with the colors to create that effect.
There's elements of cat in the suit, of course the ears. This was the first time I ever got to see goggles on the Catwoman character, and I've loved that look ever since.
I love the blue lens here, and I love her eyes. I mean, she's got this kind of mix between the comic book and a three-dimensional sculpt character. Also, her eyeliner is on point. That's also fully sculpted in.
Hidden details. Amy, you and I noticed something about the design in the suit, and it's wrapped around the waist. We at first thought this was a really big corded belt with a heck of a front buckle, but it's a little bit more.
Yeah, it's her bullwhip. I think it's such a bizarre but really cool way to interpret that iconic part of her character. I like that we're getting some Easter eggs about one of my favorite characters in Hush, with some of the vines growing through, actually bursting through the gargoyle here. It looks great with the collection, but also stands on its own.
You talked about additional characters. There's two on here that I think are great, and that's the constant cat companions. Particularly this one over here. There's a turn of the head, brightness of the eyes, and an almost smile. That adoring companion, always wanting to be by the side. I think that's great.
I think having cat elements on a Catwoman piece is such an essential part. I think that they are so cute.
Now, from the rooftops of Gotham to the cold Arctic.
This is the Superman quarter-scale statue by Prime One Studio.
Keeping with that cold Fortress of Solitude and that crystal structure all on the angles.
I can really feel it in this light up feature. It's illuminating throughout the entire piece and just adds a really cool reflectivity to the room.
On top of some of those, we've got a little bit of a sparkle, giving it a little more cool element.
Yeah, it adds some shine and a little extra movement to the piece as well, and I think it contrasts really nicely with the colors and the comic book page sculpt of Superman.
This is the Superman I know. The look, the suit, and the style, really glad that they did it this way. And in that suit, they've done all of this incredible texture, but then the paintwork over it.
The paint is amazing, and it really adds the highlights and shadows, catching all of those details. It emphasizes the sculpt even more. I'm loving how it almost gets to that powder blue in the knees. We've got that kind of purple tone that sneaks into the emblem on his chest. And then, in addition, I really love the way that they've done his skin. You can even see the veins and the freckles on his knuckles, which is such an incredible detail, but it's just such a beautiful element that adds a little bit of warmth to this cold environment.
More of the storytelling that I'm getting from this is the unique look of the throne. Both arms aren't the same level, so it's not as regal, somewhat relaxed, but a little contemplative, a little introspective of what is he going to do next.
And we've got the stone and the crystal textures all the way through the back with an entirely different story to the piece here.
And that story is the single sun. We see him flying upward, but on either side are these large stone carvings of his parents holding aloft that family crest. So there's even more going on there.
I really like seeing the small version of Superman because it feels like he's backed by that family history. This is his past and where he's come from, and then we move again to the front and we see the man of tomorrow looking out ahead.
Now, if you'd like to get more information on either of these pieces, make sure to go to side.show/con.
Now let's take a look at some Marvel statues. Who do we have right here?
Well, he's not going to let you forget that he's in the room. This is a MODOK. Look at that face. It is the MODOK that you know from the comics. It's the MODOK that you've seen in Quantumania. Just an angry, angry, angry guy, a really big head. Look at that grimace, those teeth. Oh my goodness.
I love the face, and the texture that they gave to his skin just looks so realistic. Pretty scary.
Well, even the way that the lip curls, you've got kind of spittle on the lip looks glossy.
Exactly, and I love how big he is, but also that he is actually hovering.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that he's got this big mechanized suit, this big head, but somehow that's sustaining him. He's able to hold up there. Now, MODOK comes in at just about over 19 inches in comparison to our brand new statue, Howard the Duck. Howard's standing tall at 11 inches, and I love seeing this representation of Howard, because Howard's been in the comics for a long time. He had his own movie. He was in What If? He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's got this kind of grimace on his own face. So the two of these guys both serving looks. And I love that he's leaning on, of course, the Daily Bugle, a Marvel mainstay. And there's plenty of Easter eggs to be found in the articles listed here.
The other thing I really love about Howard specifically is that combination that the artists use of the comic book style and the more realistic style. They really put those two together, the way he's standing, the angular shape of his head, and also the texture of his feathers. For more information on both of these characters, you can go to side.show/con.
Okay, Athena, let's take a look at 3 more here.
Oh, I love these.
Now, these are iconic characters, and the thing that the artist did here, they really captured their personalities, and especially in that Wolverine Berserker rage right there.
I mean, he's already a super intimidating character with a lot of rage inside of him, but here he's just losing control. I mean, look at the base. He's already torn it up. Not only that, but the base lights up with that red light, just giving him even more of an angry feel.
And we're actually seeing that rage now coming out of him. Literally, you see the veins bulging. His muscles look huge. He's got veins coming out of his neck. His costume looks tight on him, as if he just can't control any of it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, look at his face. He's gritting his teeth so hard, he might even break a tooth.
Yeah, look how far those claws extend, as if he's pushed himself to the limit here.
He definitely has. And the artists are so good at capturing so many different emotions with all of these characters. They can go from rage to something more romantic like Rogue and Gambit.
We do have our Rogue and Gambit diorama here, and you could tell these are 2 characters who are in love. They're happy, they're smiling, and I love that they're both using their powers. Rogue is flying and taking Gambit up with her, and Gambit's using his powers to create this nice pink kinetic energy filled with all of his playing cards, and I love seeing their powers on display like that.
It's very sweet, and I love that they're also using that element of they can't touch, almost touching just so slightly. It just really brings their love to the forefront of this piece.
Right, and Rogue's holding one of Gambit's cards, the Ace, which is very cute, and it's got a lipstick mark on it, so she probably kissed him through the card, which is just like the personalities of these characters shining through. The fact that their powers kind of contradict each other a little bit is on full display here. And last but not least, let's take a look at 2 characters who are certainly not in love. You got Wolverine and our gray Hulk here. And I love this because, you know, Hulk's always angry, but here even more so. He stepped right down here on the base, split that tree in 2. Probably didn't even notice.
Yeah, and I mean, his size compared to Wolverine is incredible. You can just see how angry they are at each other. They're just ready to go.
Absolutely. And Wolverine, we know he's got plenty of rage. We just saw it over there. It's so cool to see him in that yellow and brown costume. Everybody loves it. But Wolverine looks small compared to the size of the Hulk. And I think that the artist did such a great job of really showing that off, that the Hulk is a menace. And this is very reminiscent of when they fought in Incredible Hulk 340. And I love seeing parts of the comic come to life right in front of me. The artist really captured all these different displays of personality, from rage and anger to romance, and I think they're on display and they look really, really great. Let's take a look at a hell of a character. We've got our classic variant Ghost Rider premium format figure.
This figure is awesome. That paint job that the artists have put on there, even with the light off, it still looks like those flames are coming to life. But of course, when you put it on, you notice even more things. You've got this swirl in his mouth, but the other thing about this is that it's very comic book accurate. So if you are a comic book fan and you want that super accurate depiction of Ghost Rider, this is gonna be the figure that you want in your collection. Take a look at the jacket. We've got that light blue tint on there, and also the color of the bike is extremely accurate.
I also think the flames are such a character here. I mean, you've got the flames, like basically the bike is like roaring out of hell. You've got these flames encircling the wheel here. It's all over his face. You talked about the swirl inside, and the flames almost look like they're part of his hair. Like it's blowing back. He's driving the motorcycle down the streets. And I think this is really, really cool.
How big is this piece?
I mean, we're looking at 24 inches long, 21 inches high, so it's a statement piece. You need a lot of shelf room for it, but if you're a big fan of Ghost Rider, this is the piece to own. You can take a closer look at Ghost Rider and all the other Marvel characters we talked about today at side.show/con.
Here are two new prototypes from artist Tracy Tubera, the designer collectible statues of Hulk and Wolverine. Now, Whitney, this is the first time for you to see this style. So talk to me about what you get.
These are two of my favorite Marvel characters of all time, first of all. I am so obsessed with this art style. I love the bright, vibrant colors. They are so true to the comic books. I love that they look almost like graffiti that could leap out of a wall and give you the business.
Tracy has done a number of comic book characters for Sideshow, and we are really excited to have Hulk and Wolverine now join that group. Now, an element that continues in the line is that the characters wear sneakers.
A little something special about them.
Yeah, let's zoom in and take a look at the hidden elements.
Look at this little lowercase h on his shoelaces. I love that. He's popping out of them, but the shoelaces are still on point.
Over here on Wolverine, we're gonna get W for Wolverine, but also take a look that we're getting the boot underneath the sneaker. So two pair of shoes at once. For more information about Hulk and Wolverine, head on over to side.show/con. It's the first member buy Hot Toys from the Thunderbolts, Yelena.
Now, we started seeing Yelena in the MCU all the way back in Black Widow. I loved her in Hawkeye. She was so great, and this is the latest Yelena in the MCU.
And let's talk about her latest look. We get an all-new hairstyle this time, which is spectacular, and an all-new, beautifully sculpted portrait of Florence Pugh.
Florence is gorgeous, but she is still very deadly, and you can tell by her gaze.
And that and all the weapons she has. She still retains a bit of those elements from her days as a widow. We see that here on the cuffs, but of course also the batons, her sidearms, and that deadly dagger right there. The full outfit made of fabric, allowing you to be able to pose it without any restrictions.
Which is great, because if you are trying to drag your friend back from the brink of the void, you need to be able to bend and stretch a little bit. I can't wait to have Yelena on my shelf, but do you know if they're coming out with any more Thunderbolts?
Well, Hot Toys has teased more members of the Thunderbolts, so follow along with our socials to find out more.
Calling all mutants, we have a brand new addition to Sideshow's X-Men Premium Format collection. This is the Cyclops Premium Format figure and the Cyclops fine art print by artist Ty Ramsa.
Okay, let's talk about the height and the angle on this.
This is such a dramatic and very unique action pose among all of the X-Men characters. I mean, you want to see them using their powers, and Cyclops has a very, very visually unique one.
Yeah, that energy blast going down, cutting and destroying the Sentinel down there, all of the wreckage there. But it's so unique to have something like that.
I love the propulsive elements as well, coming out, exploding out of the base, exploding out of his visor, and it looks so beautiful and dramatic the way it is with the coloration. You've got the white highlights, you've got the red elements as well, but this piece has a really cool feature. Let's turn on that light.
Boom.
Check that out.
Definitely the brightest light up feature I've seen on one of our premium formats, and such a large amount of it. I mean, the entire beam all the way down, and then of course that leather jacket just to be a little cooler.
It's so classic 90s X-Men, and the art team worked really hard to ensure that that light-up feature had a wow factor. I mean, this is Scott Summers' optic blast. And yeah, I love seeing the destruction on the Sentinel too, because it's always a good day when the X-Men take down some Sentinels. But there's some Sentinels still standing over here in the fine art print. As I mentioned earlier, this is by artist Ty Ramsa and is an original design created to complement and be inspired by the premium format.
Now, you told me some really interesting design choices with the art print, that these are kind of two different parts of the story. Can you go into that?
Yeah, so Sideshow's art print department loves to create these complements to our 3D sculpture work, and so sometimes you'll get a representation that's almost very close to the design of the statue, but in this case, we have a kind of before and after scene. We see Cyclops, who is leading his allies, unpictured, into the battle, and we've got various stages of the Sentinel destruction. He is in full action, and so then you can pair it with the statue sold separately, but have that decisive final takedown as he leads the team.
Now, to add Cyclops to your X-Men team, head on over to side.show/con. You have been watching the Superhero Showcase here at Sideshow Con.
From comics to the movies, we got to look at so many cool pieces from Marvel and DC today.
Now, we've got plenty more, so follow along with our social channels. And for more information about anything you've seen on the show, go to side.show/con.
Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, don't forget to let your geek sideshow.